I'm a big fan of milk. You know, it goes good with a lot of things. Cookies, cereal, you know, just, it's a good thing to have, you know. It's a staple, if you will. And I have this roommate named Brent. I think he goes out of his way to wear like the gayest thing possible. But anyways, I come home and I'm really looking forward to these cookies I have, Oreos. Probably the best cookie there is. But anyone with half a brain, that includes Brent, knows that you can't have cookies, you can't have Oreos specifically without milk, you know. So I open the fridge, I'm like, yes, man, you know, this day's kind of sucked. I don't really like my classes that much, I'm not doing anything productive. Cookie time. So I get my cookies, get a glass, I'm like, yes, this is going to be awesome. I open up the fridge, and what do I find? I got about this much milk left, and there's nothing I can do with it, so I decide I'll just go confront my roommates, maybe one of them will be honest. So I knock on Ryan's door, and I'm like, hey man, what's the deal? Did you drink any of my milk? And he's like, no dude, I know the rule, unless I ask, I can't use it. And I'm like, you sure? He's like, yeah. So I'm like, alright man, I believe you. So I went to my next roommate's door. His name's Tim. He still thinks he's going to be in a band, and it's not going to work out. He needs to let go of that dream. And so I knock on the door. He takes forever to open it. He might have been doing something with the internet. And so I ask him, I'm like, Tim, did you drink my milk? Because there's barely any left. And the last time I checked, there was like half the container was full, and now it's empty. So what's going on, man? And he just gave me this look. I don't know what this look was exactly. I don't know if it was like, what the hell are you talking about? You know, are you serious right now? But whatever it was, it caught me kind of off guard, and I was like, what does that mean? He's like, whatever you want it to mean, bro. I didn't take your milk, man. So just like back off, all right? So I was just like, whatever, dude. You know, if you drank the milk, just tell me about it. And he was like, nah, man, just go away, man. I got stuff to do. So so I'm like, all right. I don't think it was him. Whatever. I don't want to talk to him anymore. So I went over to Brent's room, knocked on it for like a minute, and he didn't answer. And so I tried calling him on the cell phone. He didn't pick up, and I thought that was a little bit fishy. And so I was like, all right, this, you know, this, I'm not gonna let this go. This is my milk. I paid for this. So you know, I decided that I wasn't gonna let this stand, and I had to confront him about it. So I went and I sat down in our living room, and I decided to wait for Brent to get home so I could confront him about the milk, because I had a pretty good feeling that it was him. So if you remember earlier, I said how he like made it his mission to look just as gay as possible. And so sure enough, about an hour and a half goes by. I'm just sitting there, like, just confused, just shocked at what happened. And so sure enough, he comes just barging in, you know, probably scaring the hell out of Ryan, who's kind of like a little bitch about stuff like that. So he comes home, and apparently there was a big special at the big gay store because he looked really gay. And he doesn't see me immediately. He goes over, and I swear to God, he lifts up the nearly empty container of milk and goes, "Hey, where's all the milk?" And I just sat there and just shook my head. I couldn't believe it. So after about 3 minutes of just looking for no reason at all, he turns around and he sees me. And I'm like, "What's up, man?" He goes, he kind of tries to avoid it. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to go to my room really quick." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're going to come right here, right now, and we're going to talk about something." So he's like, "Okay." So he comes over, and I'm like, "Take a seat, man." And for some reason, he sat like really close to me. I don't know why, but he did. And he's like, he gets right in my face. He's like, "Hey, man, what?" And I'm like, "Are you serious right now? I think you know what's going on." He's like, "No, dude, I don't. Let me know." So I'm like, well, I came home expecting to find, you know, half a container of milk, and I find like not even a thimble. If you know the game Monopoly, you know the little thimble piece, you can even have filled that And he was like, "Hey, speaking of Monopoly, man, you want to play? You want to play a game? Come on, dude. It'll be cool, man. I'll get Ryan. I'll get Tim. We'll have a bitchin' time playing Monopoly." And I'm like, "Okay, first of all, we're not playing Monopoly because it takes forever. I've never finished Monopoly in one night, and the last thing I want to do is play Monopoly with someone who steals my milk." And he's like, "What? Who stole your milk, man?" And I was like, "Stop lying, okay, Brent? I know you took my milk." So I think we both knew what was coming. It was inevitable. There was a stare down. It was about 20 seconds before he finally broke. I knew he would because he's a little boy in a big man's frame. It was inevitable, and of course he broke it first, so I knew I had the upper hand right there. So he broke. He knew he was beaten, so he looked me right in the eyes and said, "You're right. I drank your milk." So I told him, "Well, you know what's got to happen now." He said, "Yeah, I do." Next thing I know, we're both pulling out our guns, and it's about to get really crazy in this house. I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do. I wanted to put a bullet right through his forehead so it'd come out the other side and hit the other wall. So, guns were out. We looked at each other, and we knew it was time. So, he cocks back. He's ready to fire, but right as he's about to fire, I cock back my gun, and I shoot at him. And I don't know if he was reading my mind or something like that, but he dodged it, like just moving his head right to the left, you know. And I was shocked. You know, I thought at this time he'd be dead. It wasn't so. He fired at me, but I was able to kind of matrix that shit, and I don't know how I did it. Still to this day, we both regrouped and kind of just jumped and rolled out of the way because as tough as I am, I'm not going to just stand in the way of bullets. I'm going to take cover if I can. So I go and I hide behind a couch. Brent, I think, hid behind like some kind of little chair or something like that, some rocking chair, like a video game chair, I don't know. And so then for the next probably 3 minutes, we were just firing at each other. And then all of a sudden, we hear this huge boom, and we knew that wasn't either of our guns. And we look to the like the entrance into the living room, and Ryan's sitting there with like some kind of rifle or something like that, and he looked pissed off. So then me and Brent both look at each other, and before we can even turn back to look at Ryan, 2 shots. One hits me right in the heart, other hits Brent, I think right through the forehead. Dead. And then Ryan, he looks at us, he looks at our dead bodies with no remorse, just one cold guy. He says, "I drank the milk. I drank